Can you dig it?
I can, because it's playoff time. So
Yeah.
how's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning in. Windy City Digits Podcast Special Bulls Playoff Preview Edition. That's V-Dubs, Vic. I'm
Your
Carl,
Flash.
otherwise known as Coach.
Or Flash.
So regular season's over. We're finally here. 0-0, clean slate. Right?
Clean slate, baby.
You know, so far with the playing games have been pretty exciting, but now the actual playoffs start. Bulls start in Milwaukee. Initial thoughts.
So we're going to make our predictions at the end of the podcast. So
Correct.
Look at that towards the end. But I think most analysts have talked about the Bulls either being swept or losing in 5 games. Even some of our own guys, Kendall Gill, Purdue, Casey Johnson. But there are some keys to possibilities. So I was looking at some of their previous games. They lost all 4 of those games, but their most competitive game was known as the
Alex Caruso game.
And why is that?
That is
Baldy?
the game where he got the hard foul from Grayson Allen, and that's the game that he got knocked. I think fractured wrist and got knocked out for 6 weeks.
That's right. And so the Bulls lost all 4 games. Their first 2 games against the Bucks were more competitive. The second 2 games, they got blown out.
So the game you're talking about was the third game out of 4. Actually, third game out of third game out of 4.
Game, or you're talking about the one we got?
Yeah,
blown
the Caruso was the third game in the series. So, actually, no, I'm sorry. You're right. The first 2 were a little more. So, look, the first game they played up Milwaukee, 94-90. When you look at the numbers, they played okay. I mean, they really had a bad shooting night that night. They didn't have Lonzo. They didn't have Zach playing that game. And then we lost Caruso in the middle of the game or toward the end of the game. But Kobe White was 0 for 9 from 3, 3 for 15 overall.
We shot 36%.
Yeah, 36% overall, 18%. We were 7 for 38 from 3, and we only lost the game by 4 points.
Now to retort that, the Bucks were 38% and 19% from 3, so they didn't shoot very well either. So what do you think?
They didn't.
So what do you think was key maybe in that game?
Look, they didn't play. The biggest difference, I think, in that game, they had Giannis playing, they had Middleton playing, but they didn't have Holiday playing in that game. Well, actually, did play. I think he was just coming off an injury. Looks like he didn't start that particular game, and he was just coming back from injury. But and
they didn't have Brook Lopez either.
Yeah, Lopez wasn't playing. Portis played that game. Really that game it was the big 3, right? Giannis had 30, Middleton had 16, Holiday had 13, Chris Middleton had a double-double. And there, Bobby Portis had a double-double, 13 rebounds, 12 points. I think that game, had Caruso not gotten hurt that game, who knows, but it's a good possibility they might have pulled out that game. And the rest of the season might have turned out differently. But
And DeMar, even with the Bucks have got, like I said, I think they were rated number 11th in defense. DeMar still scored 35 points. He got to the free throw line, 17 of 18.
Yeah.
Shot 50%. That's really good. And Vooch had a decent game. Not a great game. 19 and 11.
Yeah. Yeah.
So go ahead.
I think right now the numbers, if you just go by the numbers, I think I'm going to agree with the pundits at that point, right? If you go by the numbers. But if anything that the playoffs have shown so far, even these play-in games, look, the 2 number 9s made it in. Atlanta made it in, and New Orleans made it in. And
did you see that coach's speech?
That's the thing that I was going to bring up, right? I mean, this guy challenged him in the fourth quarter, and he said, "Look, you got to compete. You got to compete." And I know Tristan Thompson issued a challenge to Zach LaVine and said, "Look, this is your opportunity. This is what you've been waiting for, right?
Yep,
this has to be your coming out party like Booker, right? This has to be your time." So that's the thing I'm hopeful for that we'll catch Milwaukee just thinking that they can just walk into the arena and just automatically win 4 games.
Yep.
I'm hoping they underestimate us. I hope they're underestimating our heart. But that's the one thing we've been talking about, right? The last 5, 6, 7 games, there's been no emotion. There's been no heart. There's been no energy. I'm hoping they can flip that switch and just turn it on. But who knows? They
were completely embarrassed. So if they don't bring it, like we're hoping, that's just a bad testament to Billy, I think. I mean, and the players. I think it's a combination.
You know what? I don't know. I don't know if it's so much. Look, as a coach, right? I don't know if I'm going to willing to put that much.
Do so much, but
I'm not going to put that much on Billy because at the end of the day, he's not the one out there making the plays. He's not out. He can just put them in the right spots, right?
Well, we were just talking about Willie Green making this motivational speech, man, and now it doesn't make that it
right. But I mean, that's the thing is we saw it in the last game against was it. Who was it we played the last game? Billy got pissed off at Isle.
Loved it.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to see that kind of Billy in this game, man. And I want to see that emotion from this team. And maybe the little layoff here is going to give us a little bit of time to have some fresh legs to compete better with Milwaukee. I mean, they have Brook Lopez and Holiday out. Holiday out for an extended period of time. Maybe they're a little fresher. They shot lights out the last game we played them. 50, I don't know. They were like 50 or 60% in the first half. We were way behind.
Yeah,
our defense has got to come through.
I just think that if we can manage to steal one of two, and we put a Twitter poll up. Thanks for everyone that voted on that Twitter poll, right? I voted game 1. I think if we can steal one, if we're going to steal one of these games, if we can get game 1, that's huge, right?
Do you know our playoff chances our chances of winning this series is 17% according to the odds. If we win game 1, it jumps up to 33% instantly.
Yeah.
So that
almost doubles the numbers.
Game 1 is huge.
Do you have that? Do you have that right off the top? What people voted on the Twitter poll? Because I know you put that up there,
it was
right?
game 3. When I looked at it last, it was game 3, 53%. And then game 1 was the second one. I think at 30, and then the other 2 games were at 10%.
Yeah.
So people are betting our first home game to win, and obviously coming off strong on that first game. So, I
think all the pressures, when we were going through this with the Jordan area, right, and all those teams, and obviously it was a different time and a different scenario, right? But those guys always talked about how they hated playing at home. Right, because there were so many demands put on. People wanted tickets. Yep. There was such a high expectation. Milwaukee's in that position now. They won the championship last year. People have high expectations from them. They're probably under the same demands right now at home, where people are just, can I get tickets? Can I get into the game? Yeah. And I'm hoping that plays in our favor.
So. Yeah, I agree. So let's talk about strategy. So your coach, Donovan. What are some of the things that you're kind of fixating on for this series? At least game 1.
I think the two things is, one, you can't let Giannis get ahead of steam, go end to end.
Yep.
That's the biggest thing, right? I say the 3 things. That's the one thing. Second thing is you can't let him.
Who are you putting on him first?
Oh, I'm putting Patrick Williams on him.
Same with me.
Yeah, I put Patrick Williams on him.
All right.
Or Javante. One of those 2 guys. Okay.
Tyler Cook, the first game did really well on him.
Because he can rebound against them, right? He's got to body him up against, right?
He's got a big body, yeah.
The second thing is you can't let Bobby Portis go off. You can't let Bobby Portis bring that energy, let him get the crowd into it. You can't be giving up 3-point plays to Bobby Portis. You can't be letting him take charges, stuff like that. You can't be letting him make the energy plays.
Yeah. Okay, so another good question. Same question. Who guards Bobby? What's your lineup looking like, Coach?
So I heard they've talked about putting Tristan and Vooch in at the same time, possibly just for size. I don't know if that's necessarily the right thing here. I would almost start Javante.
I agree, actually.
I would almost start Javante.
Yeah, I think he'd be a better matchup against Bobby Portis, actually.
I think Patrick Williams coming off the bench with the way he performed in the last game, he can score now. He can take over if he needs to. That second unit scares me a little bit because Kobe is so hot and cold. This is going to be Io's first playoff experience.
Yep.
And you can't leave Zach and you can't leave DeMar out on an island by themselves without another score.
So does Io start, or you can put him back Caruso back in the starting lineup now?
I think Caruso's got to start. This is the playoffs. Io's never been in this environment before.
Yeah.
I think Caruso's got to start. Like if it were up to me, it'd be Caruso, DeMar, Zach, Javante, and Vooch. That's the five I think you have to go with. I mean, I wouldn't be upset if Patrick Williams is in the starting lineup. That wouldn't bother me as much. I think you could go either way, but I think just from a matchup perspective, Javante bringing that energy right at the start of the game, I think was good. And
well, you're going to need the bodies on Giannis. Giannis draws so many fouls, anyways.
Okay, so here's the question I'll ask you, right?
Yeah.
Who's the wild card? Like, who's the X factor? You think
in this series? It's gotta. It's two players to me. It's Vooch and Kobe.
Okay.
Because I think Zach. First of all, I think Zach and DeMar are going to bring it. I think they're going to be fine. I do. Zach didn't look very good the last week though, but I think he's going to be fine. I worry about Vooch getting going. He's been hot and cold as well as Kobe has. And we talk about, you've talked about it. Stacey King talks about it. The game's simple, man.
Yeah.
Get it in the
simple
middle.
Game.
Don't try and stretch the floor. You got other guys who could stretch the floor. He doesn't necessarily need to do that. He needs to draw fouls and try and get Brook Lopez in foul trouble. I think that's really important to get him out of the game.
I think if we're playing someone like Embiid, where Embiid's got to be in the middle, then for sure, stretch him out, right? Brook Lopez doesn't scare me as much in the middle, and I think Vooch could get him into some foul trouble early.
Me too.
If you can get one of those guys any one of those guys in the foul trouble early, that just messes the whole thing up, right?
I agree.
I'll give you another name. I'll give you another name for the X Factor, and you're going to love this. You're going to be shocked when I say this. Derek Jones Jr.
I'm not shocked. I'm not shocked at all, actually. But he's definitely going to play. He played really good those last two games where he was a DNP for I don't know how long.
Yeah.
I kept on saying free DJJ.
Yeah.
Yes.
I would say Derek Jones Jr. and Troy Brown Jr., both of those guys literally could be X factors. Because Troy Brown has been shooting well, and if Kobe doesn't shoot well, he's got to get a shot to get into the game to shoot.
That is true. They're going to have to yank him out fairly quick. Well, I don't know if they're going to yank him out. They need Kobe to get hot, man. I don't think they could win without Kobe shooting. And Troy Brown is.
Could they win with Troy Brown shooting?
Well, the way he shot the last two games, yes.
Right?
Yes. And his defense is definitely better than Kobe. So,
I just think Derek Jones Jr. Might have been a blessing in disguise because we knew that he was battling the hand injury, and we knew he was struggling with that, and he was playing through the pain. Maybe that time off maybe helped him a little bit, and he's ready to go. But I think that if he's given the chance, and he comes up with maybe one or two big time spectacular dunks during the game, I think, especially in Milwaukee, I think that will kind of even out the Bobby Portis thing a little bit. So
yeah, I wonder how the home court advantage is going to help Milwaukee. I mean, in the past, the Cubs fans, Chicago fans, make that journey up north and are pretty darn loud as well. I don't know how many people are are going up there. It could be interesting if you got a few
Well,
dunks and a lead, and the crowd is on your side. That'd
that Caruso
amazing.
game, we had a huge crowd at
I
that
know.
game, and it was close. So that might have made some, there might be something to that. That might have made a little.
We were
bit
looking
of a
better
difference.
at that point too. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's your prediction like for the series?
I'm going to go with my original prediction that I said a couple weeks back, right? Even though we haven't been playing well, I think this one's going 7. I think this one's going to go 7. And I want to say the Bulls are going to pull it out, but a game 7 in Milwaukee is going to be tough to win.
Absolutely tough to win. I'm going to say, I was going to say that my heart wants that, but my mind says it's going to be 5 games. 5 games, Bucks.
I think if they steal one of these games, first 2 games in Milwaukee,
if that's the case, I'll switch my mind. Yes, I agree. If we get one of those games in Milwaukee, I'll go with your 7. If we don't get one of those games, it's at 5.
And the other thing that kind of helps us is that these games are a little spread out. So I'll be curious because the first game is on Sunday. The next game isn't until Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
So because we're close enough, I would be curious. I would think they would come home. Like, I don't think they'd stay. Unlike if it was a regular series, like if we were playing like in Philly or Miami, or if it's Miami, it's a no-brainer. We're staying in Miami. But
that's true. It's only an hour and a half away. Well, they did just leave. I know they posted something like an hour ago that they just left.
Yeah,
today.
Yeah. Maybe I passed them up on the tollway a couple minutes ago. I don't know.
I doubt it.
I'm hoping that they pull this out. I really think they could.
That's possible,
but if they
have
do,
to play lights out like they did in the beginning of the year.
If they do, yeah, it's got to be
30% in 3-point. Yes.
If they win this series, it's got to be in 5 or 6 games. It can't go 7. Because if it goes 7, it's going to be really hard to win.
But man, if you could go 7 against the defending champs, I think we would all be happy with that.
Yeah. Oh, look.
Yeah, heck yeah.
Look, you've got the 2 sides of Bulls fans, right? There's the Bulls fans that say, "That's it, we're done," right? There's really no shot for us here going forward.
People are starting to get excited, though.
There's the other half, like me,
hurting,
right? That's like, hey, look, we can do that. Like, right? The scores, it's a clean slate. It's a new season.
Yeah,
anything can go. Look, I don't wish this upon anyone. I don't want anyone to get hurt. But look, as Bulls fans, we lived through the Derrick Rose era, right? All it takes is one injury, and the whole series turns.
That's true. It's true, man. And there have been some miracles, man. Number 8, Nuggets versus Sonics, that comes to mind. I think most sixes lose. Like, I think it's a 30 and 80 something record. I think I saw that just yesterday. So kind of interesting number.
Look, the reality is like this is. I'm just glad we're in the playoffs. I'm glad we're not sitting at home, not just watching it.
Man, it's gonna be fun to watch a game tomorrow. Hopefully we're going to Chasers.
Yeah, hopefully tomorrow.
Hopefully it's open.
Be able to.
Why wouldn't it be?
Go catch the game. Otherwise, I'll be over at your place for the game.
Sounds good, man.
Bring over a frozen home run in pizza.
Cook it upside down.
Sounds
good, man.
So thanks to everyone for tuning in for our special edition of the Bulls playoff preview. We really do appreciate everyone that's been tuning in and everyone that's subscribing to the channel. We do appreciate all you guys very much. If you haven't had a chance yet and you haven't been a subscriber yet, hit the subscribe button down below. Hit the like. Even if you don't like the episodes or you don't like what we're doing, hit the like anyway. It'll help us out on the channel. And we will do a post game no matter what tomorrow. After each of these games, we'll be doing a post game just to kind of wrap it up. And if there's enough comments below, maybe we'll try to do a live stream. We'll try to see if we can do a post game live stream and see if anyone's going to be interested in tuning in and watching that. So thanks everyone for tuning in. Everybody see red. Go Bulls. We'll see you guys tomorrow after the postgame. Take care. Peace.
Love.